Why don't we jump to the tale, though? You prefaced it real quick. Directed by Jennifer Fox, a story about her life and her own experience. If you go on Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 98%, one negative review out of 52 to this point. And it's higher than I thought it would be, but this was a pretty damn good movie. I was just kind of knocking them a second ago, but I think that this was, it's a project that's been in the works for, I think, 3 or 4 years now. Mm-hmm. And I think there's been multiple people attached to it, but Laura Dern, ended up playing the role of Jen Fox in the movie, and her and the child, Isabel and Elise, are just fantastic in this, and they give really powerful performances around a really difficult topic. What stood out to you about this movie?
Yeah, and you can't actually give HBO too much credit for this besides opening up the wallet, because we mentioned this when it was at Sundance earlier in the year, and after Sundance, HBO just bought this, right? So they didn't produce this themselves. Right. They're just distributing it, obviously. I think what stood out to me actually was the nonlinear storytelling. There's flashbacks, obviously, with adult Laura Dern and the little kid as well, as just basic memories, but also then how they're talking to themselves, and the older Jen Fox is just trying to her younger son. I think overall it's a very effective movie, and it's kind of a tough discussion because what it's about someone who's trying to internalize and rationalize and justify
pedophilia
their victimness, and trying to reject that. It's deep themes. It's not something as cut and dry as advancing the plot like in Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, it's really heavy. My initial reaction as the movie is wrapping up was just kind of like a sigh of relief that it was over. And that's not because I didn't find it to be well done. That's because, you're sitting with, someone's trauma and a serious look into the experience of trauma. And that's actually where I think Laura Dern plays this role almost perfectly, because you kind of see her at the beginning of the movie. She's this, documentary maker, very successful in this relationship with her boyfriend, who's common, but she kind of hints at that, she's never wanted to have a committed relationship, doesn't want to settle down. And throughout the movie, as she's kind of forced to face this trauma, when her mom finds this essay she wrote about, mentioning the inappropriate relationship that was being had, it really, you see her through the movie in different ways just start to unravel and really start to wear it in her body posture and her face and the way that she talked. And I think back to that coffee shop scene between her and Iris, as adults. And man, the way Laura Dern talks about it, even just when she's even just the way she delivers that, you're whoa, right. Very heavy, very weighty performance. And I mean, shout out Isabel and Elise, who playing basically alongside Jason Ritter for most of the movie, who was way too good in a very pedophilic role. But that child is a star. No.
Yeah. And they have to tell you at the end that there's an adult body double for the sexual scene. So, they were going for it. But I think Elizabeth Debicki actually really stood out to me too. She played Mrs. G, younger Mrs. G. I first came aware of her from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. She was really good in that. And she has that line when she's talking to the camera and that fake, interview that Jen is having with her. And then she was no one saved me. And, just all these telltale signs of abuse. But, when you actually talk to someone who it's happened to and is perpetuating it, it's no really easy answers. I thought if anything didn't work, I thought her professor teaching scenes, what she was talking about was kind of stuff. It was pretty on the nose. And then really in the beginning, when she first gets to the stable as a kid, there's that line about Jews and Jews being higher on the horses and stuff, and it just felt really out of place because never came back, a weird prejudice comment. Around that time in the movie too, I really like that sense where initially the memory starts off and she's 15 years old, and then refreshes. Like, oh wait, no, you were younger. You were like around 12, 13 at the time, and like it resets, and that's when you get the actual young actress who will be in the rest of the movie. So overall, I thought it's not necessarily a fun watch, but it's incredible filmmaking.